It was a typical overcast Thursday morning at the faciled birds chirping outside the lounge windows. The faint hum of the television playing an old Matlock rerun. And the occasional grumble from Roy, who thought the remote was rigged against him. But for Wendy and her crew, this was no ordinary day. Today was the day of the great wheelchair makeover caper. It all began when Maxine shuffled over to Wendy during morning bingo, clutching a bag of glitter stickers and pipe cleaners. "Look at these sparkly bad boys," she whispered with a sly grin. "We should do something with them." Wendy raised an eyebrow. "Maxine, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" "Oh, I know I'm thinking what you're thinking," Maxine replied. Within minutes, they recruited their trusted crew. Gary, always up for mischief if it involved duct tape and snacks. Nancy, who was half asleep on the lobby couch, but mumbled, "Count me in," when poked with a feather boa. Roy, who only agreed when someone told him the makeovers would make him look like a race car driver. Katie, their favorite CNA, who agreed to not see anything suspicious between 2 and 4 p.m. Their plan: to sneak all the wheelchairs out of the residents' rooms, roll them into the recreation room, and bedazzle the heck out of them. Operation Glitter Wheels is a go, Wendy whispered, donning a leopard print bandana like a general preparing for battle. Extraction. Gary distracted the front desk with his award-winning impersonation of Elvis. Meanwhile, Maxine, surprisingly nimble with a walker, wheeled chairs out one by one while humming the Mission Impossible theme. Katie provided a fake therapy schedule to keep residents confused. The makeover. The rec room looked like a party supply store had exploded. Roy's chair was transformed into a flame-painted chariot with plastic skulls hot glued to the armrests. Nancy's got fluffy pink trim and glow-in-the-dark cat decals, even though she kept dozing off during the process. Gary's had a Bluetooth speaker duct taped to the side and a cue folder that could hold either coffee or Jell-O. Wendy's was the crown jewel, a shimmering throne of purple tinsel, a disco ball hanging from the handles, and a sign that read, "Queen of the Floor." "Look at this beauty," Wendy said, admiring her sparkly handlebars. "Now this is how you roll in style." Phase 3. The reveal. At dinner, residents wheeled into the cafeteria in a parade of fabulous chaos. Laughter erupted. One of the nurses dropped her tray. The administrator's mouth fell open. Even the grumpy maintenance guy cracked a smile. "This place has never looked so alive," Katie whispered. "I've never felt so seen," said Roy, adjusting his skull helmet. As the sun set on the facility, disco lights from Wendy's throne reflected across the ceiling, and Nancy gently snored from her glitter-drenched seat. And just like that, the great wheelchair makeover caper went down in retirement home history. Because at the facility, age might slow you down, but it'll never stop you from rolling fabulous. The next morning, the facility buzzed with talk of the bedazzled uprising. Staff members took selfies with the wheelchairs. A local high school volunteer asked if he could write a paper about elderly expressionism. And a reporter from the Eugene Gazette called asking for a quote. But not everyone was thrilled. Enter Amanda, the administrator, wearing her signature pressed slacks, practical shoes, and the permanent scowl of someone who once lost a laminated schedule and never recovered. She marched into the rec room like a woman on a mission. "What?" she said flatly, staring at Roy's flame chariot, "is happening here?" Katie tried to play it cool. Little ... art therapy. This looks like an illegal glitter trafficking ring. Someone will answer for this. At that very moment, Wendy rolled in, proudly sipping her cherry Pepsi from a rhinestone-covered travel mug, disco ball swaying gently above her. Amanda narrowed her eyes. "Wendy?" Wendy smiled sweetly. "Yes, ma'am?" "You wouldn't happen to know who vandalized every wheelchair in this facility, would you?" "Vandalized?" Wendy gasped. "Amanda, we beautified them. This is wheelchair couture." Maxine poked her head in from the hallway. "We prefer the term mobile art installation, thank you very much." Just as Amanda opened her mouth to scold them all into next week, something unexpected happened. A knock came at the front door. In stepped a tall, cheerful man in a sash, reading Grand Marshal. Eugene Founders Day Parade. "We saw the photos of your wheelchairs online," he said, holding up his phone. Would the residents of the facility be willing to ride in the Founders Day Parade this weekend? We'll provide a float. We've never had rolling royalty before. Amanda's face twitched. She looked at Wendy, then Maxine, then Roy, who gave her a thumbs up with both hands and shouted, "I'm finally famous." There was a long pause. Then, reluctantly, Amanda said, "Fine, but no glitter explosions." Wendy grinned. Define explosion. 2 days later, the streets of Eugene were filled with music, confetti, and parade-goers waving at the facility's float, a majestic platform of lights, fake flames, and ribbon streamers. Roy led the charge in his Thunder Throne, Gary blasted 50s rock from his duct-tape speaker, and Wendy reigned supreme from her disco throne, tossing Werther's originals like confetti. The crowd went wild. Back at the facility that night, Amanda was overheard saying, "Well, at least nobody broke a hip." Wendy raised her cherry Pepsi. To mischief, mobility, and magnificent makeovers. The crew clinked their plastic cups. The great wheelchair makeover caper was officially legendary. But something told Wendy. Their next scheme was already rolling toward them.